And we never thought it was going to end up where we are now, like 4 years later, still on it. She's now on the FBI's 10 most wanted list. It's become a global story.
I want to talk about the Missing Cryptoqueen, obviously. A big fan. How did you come across this story? Where did it come from? And how did you get involved in this journey that you went on?
Well, I did this TED talk about buying drugs on the dark net back in like 2015 or something. And I get an email from this BBC journalist in late 2018 called Ruja Ignatova. She's a producer, podcast producer, radio producer. And she says, I've seen your TED talk about Bitcoin. Well, I've found this other story. I was at dinner recently, and a friend of mine actually pitched me this new thing that he said was going to be the next Bitcoin. And it's called OneCoin. And he pitched it to me because he wanted me to invest. And then I looked into it, and it looks completely crazy. It's like this woman's on the run. She's disappeared. No one knows where she is. Everyone seems to be getting really rich from it, but no one's able to actually get the money out. And I think this could be a really good story for the BBC. What do you think? So we started looking into it a little bit, and it just got weirder and weirder and weirder. And the truth is that I think the BBC at the time really wanted a story about cryptocurrency because it was getting bigger and bigger, and more people were investing and didn't really understand what they were putting their money into. But they wanted it to be exciting. They wanted it to be dramatic. They wanted it to like a true crime story, because a lot of crypto podcasts, they apologies to anyone who does one or listens to one, they can be a bit boring and they can be a bit technical.
Yeah.
And it's all about, let's talk about hash rates. Let's talk about the Ethereum like fork. Let's talk about, whatever the burn rate of certain coins. And it's really like, even for me, I don't understand half of it. Actually, I don't understand 80% of it. So they were thinking, how do we reach a big audience with a story about crypto?
Yeah.
And I think when they saw the story of OneCoin and a missing woman, and we're going to try and find the woman, and through the medium of, through the kind of vehicle of looking for this missing person, we'll explain blockchain, we'll explain money laundering, we'll explain multi-level marketing, we'll explain all these other bits of the story. And it will be exciting because people will want to know what happened to the woman. But secretly, we're also telling them about all these other bits. So that's how it all started. And we never thought it was going to end up where we are now, like 4 years later, still on it. She's now on the FBI's 10 most wanted list.
Yeah, I heard that.
It's become a global story.
I'm assuming you bringing attention to this story did it help the FBI's sort of, endeavors at all?
Okay, so I can say that I've interviewed the FBI. They never really give much away whether we help or hinder, because there's an argument that us bringing global attention helped. It's encouraged people to come forward. It's raised awareness about the scam, but also it may have given away clues about her whereabouts that have made their life more difficult. They wouldn't ever say, obviously, and we're doing our job, they're doing their job, and we have very different priorities. So I don't really know. I don't really know whether it's helped or hindered. I hope it's helped. One thing it's definitely helped is raise awareness about these kinds of scams. So it's hopefully helping a lot of people who didn't invest in the next OneCoin, who listened to the podcast and realized, I'm going to keep my money. I'm not going to put money in this. That was the idea, really.
Yeah. The most heartbreaking part of it for me was when you went to Africa and you were talking to those people who'd literally put everything into it and they thought they were going to get their money back still. It was Africa, wasn't it? I can't remember which.
It was Uganda.
Uganda, yeah. And that was just really sad. I mean,
I think the people who push Bitcoin, who say Bitcoin's always going to go up, Bitcoin is the future reserve currency, Bitcoin is going to be used by everyone for everything, it's the digital gold, the price constantly increases, it's magical and all this. That level of hype and certainty had the unintended but very unfortunate consequence of a lot of people in other countries who couldn't afford to invest a lot of money but invested everything they could in the next Bitcoin, thinking they were also going to get rich.
Yeah, sure.
And so there was a side effect, an unfortunate side effect of all the hype.
Yeah.
Was that people thought, I've missed Bitcoin, I'm not going to miss out on the next one. It always goes up. It's the future of money, and the OneCoin scammers understood that, and that's why it was so successful.
Sure. They rode off the crest of the Bitcoin wave, didn't they? I'm a big Bitcoin fan, you know. I'm a maxi though. I am really skeptical about every other coin. Jamie, outside of work, I think you're a bit of a workaholic, aren't you? But what do you do outside of work? What are you interested in?
I mean, it used to be a lot of things. Lately, it's been just trying to relax, not doing very much. You know, watching films and reading, and not. I used to be really loved my sport, loved football, loved all that sort of thing. So yeah, I mean, honestly, nothing to speak of other than just trying to relax. Because the thing is about doing deep investigative journalism, like the OneCoin story, and I'm working on a couple of others at the moment as well, is it becomes quite all-consuming. You become obsessed with a story.
Yeah.
You're worried all the time. You're nervous. Sometimes you get very paranoid. You think you're being followed. And it's really important to try to wind down properly.
Sure.
And I used to be like, work all hours of the day, work until the night, and then go to bed, get up, start working. And I've learned the value of just trying to no, I'm going to now just sit down and watch 2 hours of The Sopranos. And that is quality time. That's not wasted time. That is time I need to reset and